Welcome back. You're still watching Shape Your Life. People who care for loved ones with cancer face more challenges than those who look after someone with other health problems. Caregiving can be extremely stressful and demanding, physically, emotionally, and financially. In our next insert, we look at a parent's journey raising a child diagnosed with cancer and how support from family and friends help them pull through. Hope, welcome to Shape Your Life.
Oh, thanks for inviting me.
You've had a very interesting journey with your gorgeous little one regarding childhood cancer. How did you identify that she actually had cancer?
Actually, we went to a lot of doctors. She's been sick, I think, for a while when they diagnosed her. She started getting sick, I think, around 2 years. 3, 4, she kept going to the doctor, would come back, they give her different medicines until we went to see a pediatrician.
When you say sick, what type of sickness was it?
Sometimes she'd be throwing up, she didn't want to eat, and then sometimes my mom would be complaining that her tummy is getting bigger.
Okay.
So we'd ask the doctor, and the doctor would say, because she was fat when she was very chubby when she was little, the doctor would say, no, the baby is just a healthy little girl, she's fine, there's nothing wrong with her. They'd give her some medicines, Panados, and then we'll come back until I think in 2012 when she couldn't walk. Sometimes at night she would wake me up to take her to the loo, and then when she gets up she'd want me to turn her over. She couldn't turn herself over. That's when I decided, no, let me take her back to the doctor again. That's when we got to Lesedi Clinic, that's in Deep Kloof, and then the doctor there, we saw Dr. Ngwenya. Dr. Ngwenya then took some bloods, and then we were admitted there for, I think, for 2 weeks. We were admitted for 2 weeks because they ran some bloods on her, and then the doctor saw nothing. He saw nothing, and then that's when he said to me, you know what, I think I can see something next to her kidney, but I'm not sure what is that. That's when we went for the x-rays and all that, and then the doctor did some bloods again. That's when the bloods came back positive for cancer.
Wow, and how did you feel when you heard that news?
You know, it was very hard. I think the journey was easier for me because my mom had cancer also. She had breast cancer. She was diagnosed 2 years before Bawane. She was diagnosed in 2010. She also went through the chemo, the treatments, radiation, and she did that in Baragwanath as well. So we were in Lesedi private clinic, and then we were transferred to Baragwanath because Dr. Ngwenya said he had a good working relationship with Dr. Linda in Baragwanath. So he referred me to her because he said they've got all the treatments, the machines, so it was easier for us to go that side. That's when we were referred to Baragwanath. That's how we landed in Ward 44 in Bara.
What was she diagnosed with when you finally got diagnosed? Because it was a long while, because you said she complained about sicknesses.
2, 3, 4, she was diagnosed when she was 5, so it was 4 years.
But what stage of cancer was it, and what type of cancer was it?
It was neuroblastoma. She had something that grew between her kidney and her lung, and then the doctor they found out, I think it was, her cancer was already a stage 4. And as you understand, cancer doesn't have stage 5, so that's the last stage, because her cancer had already spread to the bones, to the blood, everything. So it was very, very hard. We're still going for treatments. So far, I'm very grateful to God, because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be here. Because I remember the last time she took her last treatment, it was in December of 2012. And when we went to fetch her, the doctor that day said to me, you know what, you must be very grateful. I think it was around the 10th or the 12th when the doctor discharged us from hospital. We were going to get 2 weeks off. I think she said to me, you know what, you must be very grateful because you got an early Christmas gift. So I didn't understand what she meant by then, but as time went on, I started understanding that, you know what, I think the doctor was right. We really got an early Christmas gift, because it's not everybody that makes it through stage 4 cancer after the treatments and everything. And it was very, very difficult. I must just tell you, all those months, I think it was something like 9 months, because we started April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. It was, you know, a terrible 9 months, but we made it through.
The strength is within you, and find it, and you cannot help it to find strength in this beautiful chalk house here in Deep Kloof. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. Bayone, come here, little one. Come here, little one. You know, the amazing thing is, Mom, I look at her, and since I've met her, she's just smiling. And from us to you, that smile is so positive that I wish you all the best. You're going to be a rocking superstar.
Oh, she has to be.
Give your mommy a hug to say thank you, Mom, for being there. This is what love is all about. It's beyond, it's unconditional. And by having this radiant smile, it has inspired me. It has literally brought coolness to my body and my life in this hard day. Are you done playing? You want to play some more? Hey? Having a child diagnosed with cancer is one of the most traumatic events that can happen to a family. It is therefore essential that they keep in contact with other parents who have been through similar experiences. We spent time at the CHOC Foundation to learn more about what they do to support children living with cancer and their family members.
The Childhood Cancer Foundation was established in 1979 as a support group to parents of children with cancer.
We do that through our various programs of support, which is psychosocial services, where we employ social workers and as well as auxiliary workers at the pediatric oncology units. And they basically, take the families through the journey. They're there from the beginning of treatment right to the end. And also in instances where bereavement support is needed, they also assist through that as well. Then we also have awareness training and education. Awareness where we focus on the general public, where we educate them about cancer as well as the symptoms. And then we also train your healthcare professionals, your traditional healers, as well as your home-based care workers, also on the symptoms. That's basically it's mainly to assist with early detection. And then we also have accommodation facilities. There's about 12 of them across the country, and those are close to treatment centers. So in instances where a parent will be coming from a different town, it's mainly for out-of-town patients, the child gets hospitalized, but not the parent. We also have transport, so we've got vehicles for the parents or for the families that are based at the CHOC house. We would transport them to and from the hospital. And then for families that are within driving distance to the hospital but would require a taxi or a bus fee to get there, we then have funds for those, and we provide them with the funds.
Many children only found out that they had cancer at an advanced stage of illness. One of the reasons for this is a lack of awareness and knowledge.
And also, I guess, the symptoms of childhood cancer itself, because they're very similar to the symptoms of any child's sickness or disease, if you like. It would be your fever, it would be like a white drop in the eye, it would be neurological, where the child is unable to walk, it would be like headaches and fever. So when a child goes to the doctor and they have those, it's not immediate that the doctor would think, oh, this child has cancer. And it's even worse if you're not aware of the symptoms. So you'd find that the child would be going, to the same doctor for long periods of time before they actually referred to a specialist who can then detect what exactly it is. So that is problem number one. And then the second thing is obviously people not being aware of the symptoms themselves, let alone the doctor. So that's why at CHOC we train the doctors themselves as well as the entire healthcare professionals.
The organization has introduced a counseling program to help parents who struggle to tell their children that they have been diagnosed with cancer.
Our social workers play a big part in that. When they're breaking the news to the children, it's not, oh, you have cancer. They'll even have dolls and they'll be explaining, in sort of to their level, to make sure that the child understands that they're sick. I mean, there's even instances where the child will be refusing to be injected, and they'll come and bring a doll and then have, that plastic injection and sort of show, oh, this is what we did to the little one, to the doll, and look now, they are healed. So, it's sort of to help them. So they really do, provide them with full support, and they are there throughout, the lengthy treatment.
The Western medicine doctors have come together to work with traditional healers to help fight the myths about cancer.
We've had a lot of referrals, from the traditional healers as well as the nurses and the doctors. But we're not only calling on them, we also call on the general public as a whole. Make yourself aware of the symptoms so that when you see a child, you can at least go up to the mother, even if it's not your own child, you can go up to the mother and say, I'm aware of these symptoms as a childhood cancer symptom, and this is where you can get help.
They appeal to the public to try and support those infected and affected by cancer.
At CHOC, we rely heavily on corporates as well as individuals for funding. So that is the one way that they can support us. They can actually go onto our website, which is www.choc.org.za, and they can go onto how to support us. And there they will find there's a section if you want to be a regular donor or if you want to be, a once-off donor. And then in terms of the corporates, our doors are always open. They can always come and create a partnership with us. And then we also have volunteer programs. We rely very heavily also on our volunteers, to assist at the hospitals, at the wards with the children, and also to assist at the houses as well.
Childhood cancers require specialist pediatric treatment by a pediatric oncologist, comprising of chemotherapy, surgery, radiation, or a combination of these treatments. Some children may require a bone marrow or stem cell transplant too. We are joined by Dr. Paul Yogis, who is going to educate us about childhood cancers and available treatment options. I'm with Dr. Paul Yogis, who's a pediatric oncologist at the Chris Hani Baragwanath Academic Hospital. Dr. Paul Yogis, thank you for joining us on Shape Your Life.
It's only my pleasure.
What are the causes of cancer, and especially that in children?
Unfortunately, the causes of cancer in children is mostly unknown. In very rare cases, we know that it might be inherited, but as I said, it's in very rare cancers. Some other environmental factors can be the cause of cancer, like radiation, like living near a nuclear power or station or somewhere where there is irradiation. It might be a cause of cancer.
Now, we know that leukemia is one of the most common cancers in children. What are the other cancers that the kids face?
The one, as you mentioned, is the hematological malignancies, which the representative is leukemia. And the other big group is solid tumors. And when I say solid tumors, I mean a mass somewhere in the body which is growing and growing despite ordinary treatment, and then spreads to the rest of the body and can be dangerous for the life of a patient.
Is cancer treatment the same for every cancer, or does it vary, and what does it entail?
Yeah, Ronald, thank you for that question. I want to make it clear is that cancer is not one disease. It's a big group of many diseases, and the treatment varies from cancer to cancer. But in general, there are three modalities of treatment. The one is the chemotherapy. That means drugs either through the mouth or through a drip. Or the other is radiation therapy, and the other one is surgery.
When it comes to the incidence rate and the cure rate, what can you tell me about this when it comes to childhood cancer?
Yeah, it's very important to make it clear that cancer in children specifically is a very rare disease. It only occurs in 120 to 130 children per million population of children. Regarding the cure rate, we were saying that the stage of the disease is very important. The earlier you arrive with a disease of cancer, the better the chances are for cure, especially in children. For this reason is that we encourage people to know the early warning signs and refer the patient as soon as possible to the doctor and then to the specialist center.
What are these early warning signs that parents could be aware of when identifying the child might or might not have cancer?
Yeah, there is a list of the warning signs which has been compiled by our unit and has been accepted by the Department of Health of South Africa, and in actual fact has been accepted internationally for use and has been used all over the world at the moment, is the St. Siluan warning signs of cancer in children. And we use the acronym Siluan for the early warnings of cancer. And we're going one by one to the letters of the word Siluan. S is for seek medical help early for persistent symptoms. That means if child has got symptoms that are not getting better with ordinary treatment that is given by the doctor or the clinic, they have to be referred further. I is for our eyes, and eye cancer in children is one of the most common cancers, especially the very, very small children. And the early warning signs is the white spot in the middle of the eye, which is often different between the two eyes. And the other early warning sign of that is is a new squint, a new blindness. Then going to the letter L, which is a lump. A lump is a mass. A mass anywhere in the body which is growing despite ordinary treatment, antibiotics, rub, and ointments or whatever, and it's not getting better, they have to be referred. Then we go to the letter U, which is unexplained symptoms like loss of weight, loss of appetite, fever, which is not explained, early bleeding, unexplained bleeding or bruising of the body. Then going to the letter A, which is aching, joints and bones, and easy fractures. That means joint pains were not getting better, especially back pains. If they are not getting better with the ordinary treatment that the doctor is giving, needs to be further investigated. And the letter N is for neurological, in other words, abnormal new neurological signs. That means the child is not walking all right suddenly, while before he was well, suddenly is limping or he's got unstable gait. If early morning vomiting with headache, for example, which is persisting, and any abnormal neurological signs need to be investigated. If a parent has got any questions, worrying about their child, we've got a toll-free number at the Chris Hani Baragwanath Hospital. The parents can phone and get information, or they can ask questions to any one of the doctors during working hours. And the toll-free number is 0800 333 555.
0800 333 555.
Yes.
As simple as that. Dr. Paul Yogis, thank you so much for making time to chat to us here on Shape Your Life. And your information and your insight is invaluable to those out there who are suffering with children dealing with cancer.
Ronald, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Most childhood cancers can be treated successfully if diagnosed early. With a success rate of up to 77%, it's important for us to heed the advice from the experts on today's show. And don't forget that you can keep in touch with us by sending an email to shapeyourlife@ann7.com with all your health-related queries or topics that you would like seeing being discussed on the show. From me, Ronald Avergy, and the Shape Your Life team, see you next week.